Well, this is Rose Bay on Sydney Harbour, a beautiful 12-hour drive from my home in the Mornington Peninsula in sunny Melbourne. This is Otto Volts. Otto, you are the man in Sydney. Well, that's what we'll tell everyone anyway.
We're hoping so.
Sydney Harbour, plenty of options. What about today?
Well, today it's a bit windy, but we should be able to chase up a Tailor or something. There's a few kingies booting around, maybe a jewfish later on as the tide changes.
Plenty of options.
Yeah, let's just hope the wind doesn't muck us up too much.
Oh, the good thing is we've got a nice warm cabin and I'll be in there driving. Nick's driving at the moment. Nick, take us to the fishing spot, mate. I'm scared, Otto. I worry about your surprises. Now, it's always good when the next shot starts with one of these, a net. Not that young girl we met in Sydney once, a net, but an enviro net. Now, Otto, I think you stiffed me because he said 10-pound nitline will be fine. My first cast resulted in 0. The Tailor bit me off. And Otto, was that your first or second?
That was my second cast, but I had 14-pound nitline, so I was a bit smarter.
Right, very good. He recommended 10-pound for his old mate Paul. And we haven't moved more than, what, 2 k's from the ramp?
Oh, if that, yeah.
That is crazy. And the traffic here, there's big ships, helicopter went past, a water plane went over. I'll help you in a minute, Otto, but you're having so much fun getting tied in knots. It's all happening, but the fish are happening too, and is it because of the current, Otto?
I don't know, I think the harbour just warms up at this time of year and the bait move in, and there's tailor, kingfish, salmon, all sorts of things following the bait.
Well, when you say it warms up, I'm feeling very warm too now. On this chilly overcast day, I'm feeling very warm because second cast Volts has done the damage, and it's not a bad fish, is it?
No, that's about the average size of what's been running around lately. There's plenty of them.
Sensational. Well, we'll get this guy off. A Raider's done the job. My Yozuri, it's gone bye-bye. And we're having some boat-to-boat action. It's all happening on Sydney Harbour. Yes, Otto! Otto had a fish hooked up. Our camera is now on the boat, as you can see, and Tailor just busted up everywhere. We stopped the engines, we cruised over, and fish are just swimming all around us. Otto, you hooked up again, first cast, Otto, I'll call you.
Yeah, I got him on your new salty bait, but it was tied on with 20-pound leader this time.
Yeah, thanks very much, mate. How cool are those lures?
Oh, they look a bit weird to me, but they obviously know what they're doing, the people that make the things.
Absolutely. Fishing tackle just changes so much. Every time we go to one of those tackle shows on the Gold Coast, Otto, I'll give you a hand there, mate. Oh, and away he goes. They always come up with something that just blows us away. And have a look at this thing. I've never seen nothing like it, and I wouldn't have believed it worked if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Well, I don't know what it's supposed to replicate. This tail's fallen down a bit, but I don't know what the hell that's supposed to look like, but whatever it is, the fish eat them.
They eat it. Oh! Watch your ear, Mr. Cameraman, because you nearly had a 3D popper for a brand new earring. Watch this thing get eaten. It is unbelievable.
Although it looks like we're casting in the middle of nowhere and just hooking fish left, right and centre, it's not quite that easy. We've actually got Nick at the front of the boat looking for the birds. The birds are chasing the bait fish, which have been pushed up by the predatory fish, such as the tailor and the salmon and kingfish. And basically they're our signposts in the sky. We just chase them and get upwind of them and cast the lures into them. You've seen the rest. All goes good.
Come into this little bay, the wind has got up just a tad. Otto's casting the metal lure, I've got this popper still going. And the beauty of the way Nick is actually positioning the boat is that my popper is hard to cast into the wind. But by doing it this way, I'm using the wind to my advantage, and I can actually cast it 50 or 60 yards, no problems, which means very little effort, just keep winding away at the next save, and eventually she'll get smashed. Yes, ooh. Oh, splashing around the surface a bit. How good is that? Ooh, with a bit of go there too. We are in a little bay here. Look at suburban Sydney sprawling out over the hills. Boats everywhere, fish everywhere. It is just amazing. I still don't think, Otto, the people of Sydney, the average person, has any idea of what fishing they have right at their back doorstep.
If everybody realised how easy it was, there'd be more people out here. We're about the only boat I've seen fishing today, Paul.
It's unbelievable. This thing's got some weight. Ooh, and some go.
Yeah, I don't think Tailor are the only fish running around here today.
I could be wrong, but I think my arm's now 6 inches longer, Otto. This thing's got some serious weight. And that little popper, with the wind, I reckon I got it about 50 or 60 metres, and this thing just smashed it. When it did, there was a very large splash. And this is just sensational. On light gear, I can see something that looks like a massive salmon. It is a big sambo.
It is, yeah.
I thought it was a kingy the way he was going.
Yeah, no.
How's the go in this thing though?
Yeah.
That is one trouble with light gear. The fish is the king, and you really don't know what you've got till you see it, do you?
Absolutely not. I thought these were moving a bit faster than the Tailor were before.
That is just gold. Wowee. Big Australian salmon. Nick's doing a great job to keep us actually washing up on the shore. Look at that. Big green back. What a torpedo. And that little popper Otto had hit the surface, and this thing just went lunch. Australian salmon, Sydney Harbour. I'd actually say we were doing some fishing, but I don't think that's right, Otto. As my salmon hits the deck, I think we're doing catching.
Yeah, it's been pretty easy so far today.
Otto, I've said some nasty things about you, but you know what? You're all right.
I thought you were going to say they were all true.
Use that wind to assist. Look at that for a cast for a tiny little lure, Otto.
Yeah.
I'm a very good caster when I have wind behind me. And speaking of wind, what have we got, about 20 knots?
Every bit of it.
It's all good though.
Yeah, it's not going to get any better all day.
You were saying, Otto, that you can basically go from one school to the next and target a different species without even knowing it?
Well, that's the thing, you know. Yeah, you could pull 20 Tailor out of the one school and move to the next school of fish, and that'll be salmon, and then you move along, and the next one will be bonito, and yeah, it's hard to work out exactly what you're going to hook next.
But the good thing is most of them eat similar lures?
They do. They get very picky at times when they feed on tiny little bait fish, and that's when it's very hard to hook the things because you can't get a lure small enough to replicate the bait fish. That's when the saltwater fly fishermen come into their own.
Absolutely. I've been here on those days. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
Otto, because I'm a gentleman and because you beat me to it, I'll let you have the first cast. Now you can see too, my diet's been going really good. I've lost plenty of kilos, Otto. Blown up like the Michelin Man with all this wind. Oh, Otto. I was saying, Michelin Man, you are the man. There are fish busting up everywhere here. My popper's just cruising through and there we go, bang. I would have never normally thought to put a popper on to chase these fish, but you reckon the Sydneyarians do quite a bit of it, mate?
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. The fish can be down, and as soon as you put a popper on, whether it's the vibration or whatever it is, the extra splash or something, they come up.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah.
Now, oh, I got two fish.
You had two fish on. I don't know if you've still got two.
I just had two fish on my lure. Which way are we going? Over me. Oh. That's it. I just looked back and had two Tailor on my popper. I think one fell off though, Otto.
I'm pretty sure you've only got one there now, but geez, they're greedy, trying to take it out of each other's mouths.
That's unbelievable. And there's another Tailor coming up. And how thick must they be when you can have two fish on at the same time? There he is. And for a fish of their size, they go pretty hard. And if you look at their anatomy, they're quite flat on both sides. So they've got plenty of sort of body to get held against that current. Now, I'll give him a lift. Come here, mate. Look at that. Oh, and look at the bait going everywhere. Come on, calm down, buddy. I'm not going anywhere near him while he's jumping around because his teeth are, Otto, nasty. I'll lay him there for a sec. Just relax, mate. Relax. Okay.
They don't call them choppers for nothing.
They don't. Look at that gob there. There's the popper and there's the chopper. Those teeth are huge. I'll try and push that down with that bit. Look at that. They are big, big teeth. They actually come through. They call them chopper tail because they come through and they bite the tail for bait fish. Then they do a few laps and around Needham all. Oh, yes. Otto, you know they're thick when poor old Nick doesn't even get a chance to stop the E-Tex, mate. We're already on.
Oh, they're good, aren't they?
Now you might think I'm in a town called Wrong Town because this fishing is pretty amazing. If you look over my right shoulder, you'll see some landmarks and they will let you know exactly where we are. And people from around the globe will say, yep, Paul's definitely in Melbourne. I'm in Sydney, only joking. Oh, some nice fishing amongst these.
Yeah, they're great things, aren't
They jump,
they? Yeah.
they hit hard. There are lots of them. He's a good fish. This one, I'm going to get the net. Oh.
I'd give you a hand, only I can't be bothered.
Only you're busy, thanks,
Yeah.
Otto. You know what I like about you, Otto?
Not a great deal.
Nothing. Oh, why are they so mean to my friend Otto? Come here. Yeah, I'm doing good. There we go. That, once again, beautiful tail. You can see a bit of that pilchard just down near his butt there. They are thick as thieves. And Otto, you were saying that the bull sharks, there's been a lot of hysteria about bull sharks here at Sydney Harbour. They come in following these things?
Absolutely. You can't have this much fish activity and not have, you know, the apex predators follow all these things in, you know?
Well, Otto, sometimes fishing is as difficult as you want to make it on the day, isn't it?
Absolutely. And some days it can be all too easy. You can just cruise around it just in idle, put a couple of minnows like this behind the boat and just troll along.
Catch fish.
Basically look for the birds and hopefully run into them.
This is Yozuri Hardcore. What's that little thing?
An Eba shad.
And this is how it works. Very technical, Otto. You just throw it over the back, give it a little cast to get it out there. And anyone who's spending any time in the water should do some trolling. Now, a lot of people, Otto, call it trawling, but trawling is what professional boats do for their catch.
They trawl with nets.
Yes, we troll with lures. And this is as hard as it gets. Rod in the holder, sit back, and if you've got to cover ground, my theory is why do it at 8 knots when you can do it at 2 knots and have the chance of catching dinner as well?
Exactly right. We're actually working pretty hard at catching a fish now, Paul.
Now I'm actually holding the bait board up. You said he's a jumper, mate. What do you reckon he is?
Oh, he's either a small salmon or a just another tailor, maybe foul hooked or something. He's certainly going hard.
Now, when you say chook hooked, what do you mean for people watching?
I don't mean chook hooked, I mean foul hooked.
And what do you mean by foul hooked?
Hooked in the side of his face, so you're pulling him sideways instead of from the pointy bit.
Otto, I've always said you are a stickler for detail. I got the net. And another question, Otto. Is this going to take long?
Sorry,
They've actually painted the coat hanger 3 times since you hooked up. They have a serious account for themselves, don't they?
They do.
It's just a little tailor.
I know. Maybe I'm just getting older and slower.
Oh, and he jumped in the net. There he goes. And you were saying before, a lot of these fish have actually got bite marks on him. I'll just hold him in the net there.
That's right.
He's very excited about this. He's going to calm down for me. Yes, he is. Just look at that. Now, from your marine biology days, Otto, which lasted about 3 minutes, what species did that?
Well, I'm half the time I think it's these guys and they're trying to attack things and they're just in a bit of a frenzy and they just bump into each other.
Any chance there was romance involved? Bit of a love bite?
You've always got that on your mind, but no, I'd say it was just a feeding frenzy.
Well, first tailor on the trial. This time, we're not going to put the lures out till the camera's going. I'll show you how it works. Look at that! And that, that is as difficult as trolling gets. Now, I'm going to discover the drag on this little IX, and that fish is going now. The reason I'm doing this, Otto, because, oh, and off it goes. This is just a little cheap Shimano outfit. This is the cheapest reel Shimano make. And Otto, it's fun to use Stellas and Sustains and everything, but people can come out and enjoy fishing with this gear, can't they?
Absolutely. Even the cheapest Shimano in the range is a good enough thing to catch these sort of fish.
And this is a little Blue Boys special. I left the pink one at home. It is Sydney after all, Otto. I'm only joking. The home of the gay Mardi Gras. I'll never forget, I was out fishing the shelf one day, Otto, and it was the day after the gay Mardi Gras, and a great big hat went past. It was very fancy. I thought it was a fad, which is a fish attracting device, and it actually drifted out about 12 miles offshore overnight.
Oh, fair dinkum.
This thing's having a fair little workout, mate.
I suppose you want me to net it?
Oh, if you do the right thing. And it is fun. Oh! I just love having a crack on this little gear. And it takes you, oh, and he's a jumper and off he goes. Well, our fish jumped off, but it's all good. It's part of the fun. There are fish everywhere as the sun really disappears behind the cloud. This is fishing Sydney Harbour. Back to basics. We're doing okay. Okay, Otto, you mentioned earlier you had a surprise and now you have me pulling in a rope.
Yep.
Please explain.
Well, me and Nick got up here a bit earlier than you guys did and dropped a few witches' hats crab traps over the side.
Oh!
We get a few blue swimmers in our waters of Sydney Harbour.
And that is a blue swimmer?
That's a blue swimmer crab, absolutely.
Yep. And I don't get blue swimmers down my way. Do you eat them?
These are sensational eating.
Really?
That one there is a male. You can tell by the width of him.
Yep.
If you roll him over, you can more clearly see that he's a male. But
so that's a bit of salmon. Use salmon for bait, and if you can turn salmon into blue swimmer crab, that's a pretty good deal.
That's a good day any day, isn't it?
That is excellent. Well, that's mine. All we're going to do is check a few more traps and see if you were lucky enough to get one.
Fair enough.
Come on, Otto, show me the goods. Oh, I like this, it's fun. It's like going to get your dinner, but you're not in the supermarket. What's your tip, Otto? Two's my tip.
Oh, I'm hoping for at least one.
It's always good when the wind blows the boat over it.
All zeros.
Oh, only got one piece of salmon. Have you been crab fishing long, Otto?
Obviously not long enough. All good.
Now, Otto, I believe your father, who was German, and still is.
Still is, yeah.
Still is German. He was a great crab fisherman in the North Sea, was he, mate?
Oh, I believe so, yeah.
That's where you learn everything you know. Well, what's Dad's name? What's your dad's name, Otto?
Crabless.
Crabless. You'd be so proud of your boy.
Alright, the best way we find to catch a blue swimmer crabs on Sydney Harbour is by use of what we call a witch's hat crab trap. It's a pretty simple thing. It's got a metal base, the ring sits on the bottom. We have a float to hold it up off the bottom. It then forms a witch's hat sort of configuration, and the crab just wanders along, comes in to grab the fresh bait we've put in the middle. He gets his legs and claws and things tangled in that. If you're going to put out a number of them, you have to mark them with your name and address. Check your local fisheries guides for what's relevant in your own state.
Yeah, I'll pull it up, Otto, because you have had such tremendous luck today. I'm going to try and change things and turn it around for the team. This is something I've never done, is crabbed on Sydney Harbour.
Oh,
look at
you're
that!
kidding.
I'm the worst of Noster! Otto, I think what I'm going to have to say is there must have been a clause in your contract. How big's that?
That is a huge blue swimmer.
That is a monster. Now, I'm really going to enjoy eating mine, but yours is a bit small. That has got to be good tucker, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And is that the size you'd expect, or is that a good sized big one?
No, that's a fair bit bigger than average.
Now, I've only been crabbing for about 5 minutes, Otto, but you know my favourite part? Getting him out of the net. Well, Otto, I've got to say, I was going to thank you for a great day on Sydney Harbour, but it's only been 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, well, we got a few Tailor, a couple of crabs. Well, some of us caught crabs.
Some of us caught crabs. Someone also caught a monster salmon.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, hang on a sec. Hands up if you caught a big crab today. That'd be me. It's been a cracker day. I'm actually going to do some crabbing seminars at your Tackle Well store in Travoyne this weekend, my Otto.
Gee, thank you. Yeah.
As long as you laugh and have a good time. We've got another place to go to because there's a few more species we've got to find, isn't there?
There's a couple more we'll try and dredge out.
Any chance of getting me a hot coffee first?
Absolutely.
Oh, it smiles all around.